recognize VTube Studio. I'm confused. The iPad in the app is so weird. I don't know how to deal with it. Let's see if it shows up this time. I already tried doing this on the iPad, and apparently I forgot to. Hey, there's the stream. Hello. Let me see that little chicken nugget. Oh, it's fairly decent, except it's vertical. Hey, more. Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry. Anyway, what happens if I were to turn? What happens if I were to turn on its side? Will it register that? Doesn't look like it registered that. Okay, cool. Hey, View Plays. Echo Fury, welcome to the stream. Hello, Genta. Hey, what you doing? I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out how to use the iPhone application. Hey, Vegeta! I will always remember you by every name but your current one. Oh, no. I'm not even halfway through the other video. Oh, is that the update video? Man, I didn't even watch back the iPad rhythm game video. Depending on which dongle I'm using and depending if it's my iPad versus my iPhone, because I have two types of dongles, one for the iPad because it has a different connector, and then one for the iPhone, different, like, quality. Like, I still have the main earbuds, but the dongle are all bootleg, except for, this one, isn't it? I buy a lot of Chinese bootleg, which really messes with audio quality. It's a Mod Podge, but everything ends up working, in the end. Yeah, so I was gonna play some Million Live because I'm trying to easy all the songs, like 2mix, 2mix plus, 2mix vertical, and there's like not even 150 notes to tap, but I keep getting distracted. I keep getting so distracted that every time I'm trying, because it's not hard to full combo those because they're so slow, there's so few notes, but I'm like listening to a YouTube video and they say something remotely like, you know how you listen to YouTube videos as like a podcast and then you go, wait a minute, what are they talking about? I want to see what they're doing. And then, and then you look away for like a millisecond and you look back and you're like, ah, shit, I messed up my full combo. That's what it is. Yeah, I don't have the best lighting right now. What is the Neko doing? I could tell you what the Neko should be doing is changing to a Neko if we're going to talk about the Neko. Do I have the cat? Yes, I have the cat. Yes. Kitty, kitty. Oh, I'm a pretty kitty. Yes. Oh, boy. I miss it. I miss being a lovable little bean. I could turn my light brighter, but Dreamy's trying to sleep. Nah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of rattling about because Mom's not having a good time. She's on the couch sleeping. She's having her heart problem. I remembered the word that I was trying to say for my update video when I was talking about my mom's heart condition. It's called AFib, when her heart's in a flutter. So yeah, if you've ever had like a panic attack, it's basically the same feeling, except it's actually happening. Like, that's the sad part about panic attacks is that, like, on an EKG, they can see that you're slightly elevated, but it's more in your, like, fight or flight response in your head than it is a physical, like, clearly you're in distress, but when it comes to, like, am I actually having a heart attack, you can see that you are half as stressed as you would be if you were actually having a heart attack. Anyways, my mom is having AFib right now, which means her heart's in flutter, and so it makes it feel like she's always on the verge of a stroke, which is not a fun fact that I learned on my own time. Basically, people can live with AFib, or AFib is a warning of stroke, but because it's a part of her heart condition, it's not, because she's already on medication for that. It's complicated. She's having a harder time than I am. I'm very lucky. Like, even when I have a bad day, it's still the better life, right? Um, Let me put up my hair real quick. So yeah, I'm just gonna ramble for a little bit. I hope she gets better soon. Same. She did go and sit in a parking lot ER for a little bit till she felt like she was better. Because that's, I don't know how your guys' health is. I hope it's better than ours. But our health usually goes like we need to get more help. And then we go to the ER and we feel magically better because we're comforted. Because we've gone there enough times that we're like, yeah, they're going to be able to help. And then we're like, but I feel better. I don't want to go in. It's COVID. Especially with my mom because she's immunocompromised. I always love going into the ER because we have like M80, like like the expensive masks, like the stuff that like people who spray paint use. And the hospital is always like, it's policy that we give you this shitty little napkin. Depending on who's at the desk, they're like, hey, you need to change. You need to put this at least over that mask. And then another coworker will walk in and they're like, dude, they're more protected than we are right now. Leave them alone. That's so sad is when a nurse comes in, they're like, oh shit, they're serious. We don't even have that protection. Oh, sweet beans. I'm going to turn on the light stronger. Sorry, Dream. You got to deal with your mama's BS. Let me see if I can. How do I can't remember which one readjusts. I don't wanna leak a face reveal. Which button does it? The auto correction, so it has better tracking. Because right now I'm squished. I'm a squished cat. How do I fix it? Is it this one? I don't know. I'm gonna put my hand over it. I was right. Get out of here, you. Get out of here, you. I'm just gonna open it up again. Boop. I was right. It was the wrong, This is why we prepare. Nobody's more anxious than me. I'm always ready. Okay. Good. And then, so this one, that's the right calibration. I got it. No face reveal for you. Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't care, really. Oh, hi, Dream. I woke up the dog. Hi, baby. I'm sorry. I want to ramble. I miss having my one and only purpose, baby girl. Aww. Yeah, I knew that stuff was not going good tonight when the dog is going back and forth between my mom and me. Like, I was a little distressed, but for completely unrelated reasons, and I didn't know how bad my mom was in flutter because she was keeping it to herself. Because she knew it's been a bumpy ride for the both of us right now. But yeah. Ew. I want to pet the purple kitty. And then you went, ew. Do you want to pet me or what do you... Hold on, let me lick the screen. God, I want a rig. I want a rig so bad. Every time I see a live 2D model, I'm like, ooh, I wanna learn. I wanna do the homework. Let's go. But yeah, my computer's inoperable. I didn't realize it's been 10 days since the family collab. So that's how long I've been without a computer, and I really don't like it. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. It's really hard. I love the lick animation. Oh, it's not an animation. This was, Mythic made this model when the updates, I wouldn't say they were new, but they maybe a couple of months old. So, like, I can wiggle my schnoot. It's not the best, and then this is only for iPhone tracking or any tracking phone that has Face ID. where it can actually tell if you're like sticking out your tongue and stuff. Like, it's not an animation. That's my actual tongue. It's gross. Anyways, I do listen back to like my update videos because, you know, I have to record them and then I don't know how they sound, and before I upload it I just want to make sure I said enough, and sometimes I miss things. Anyways, so I listened back to it. I remembered Mom's flutter. There was something else. Shoot, I can't remember. I've been fiddle farting around for a while. Here's a couple random obscure things I wanted to just dump truck since we're chatting. I didn't know there was a series. I think it's a Hulu exclusive animated series. It's called Housebroken. It's an animated cartoon, but it's like very. You can tell that they were on a budget, but it's not. I guess it looks cheap, but it does its job. I really love the voice acting. I really love everything. It's actually on YouTube for free, illegally right now. If you type in Housebroken, you'll find it. All 12 or 11 episodes. I think there's 11 episodes. I would recommend. It is a speed enjoyment thing. It's like you're not going to get too invested. It breezes by so fast. I've watched it, the whole 11 episodes. They're about 21 minutes. No ad breaks, because haha, Hulu, we pirate. I'm so sorry. If I ever go to a company, they're going to be like, you support pirating? And I'm like, I need to save a few bucks. Plus, it's more convenient because I don't even know what I want to watch because I don't know what I like until I have the option available. And, pirate sites. I have them bookmarked. I have a cartoon pirate site, I have a movie pirate site, and I have an anime pirate site. And it's weird because you'll see like a Hololive music video on there randomly on the anime one. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. That's like Vocaloid. It's like, is this an anime? And it's just somebody's like animated music video or something. Bro! I'm so sorry. What day is it? Your birthday just passed, didn't it? Aww. I'm so sorry. My computer's dead and Mom's having health problems and just bad things happening. Thank you for being there for me, by the way. I'm sorry I offloaded that on you guys, for those that know. But yeah, happy birthday, happy late birthday. Oh, I'm a bad person. I haven't checked Twitter, I haven't checked Discord, I haven't checked I checked Instagram. Mimi posted something. I was like, okay. I'm not gonna make it. I had a mini breakdown because I'm like, I can't wait to commission her. And I had like a whole 2-hour discussion with my mom about it. And then I'm like, oh no. The regret's already settling in. And I haven't even bought anything! I mean, I have to have my computer fixed before I do anything. At the bare minimum, I'll take more siblings over me getting a version 2 model. Even though I want to support... I want to pay the Mimi. I'm so glad she brought up her prices. Oh my gosh. I did the mathematic everything because I knew she had a job, part-time job, and I'm like, I know the state she lives because it's not a secret. Her idol group's in Florida, you know that. And I was like, I'm doing all this math. I'm like, how much is an artist supposed to be paid? How much is like this and that and that and this. And that's why I asked how long it takes her to draw things, like estimated, basically, because I'm like, you're barely making $6 an hour at that, and max would have been 11 and something cents. And I'm like, don't quit your job, because unless you up your prices, you might as well keep the job. So I'm so glad she bumped up her prices. I do want to commission her. I have so many sketches. Oh my god. Bro, I'm so glad you asked if you could, like, go over stuff with her in a call because it's like, that's something I wanted to ask but didn't know how to even begin to format. So I asked her the same thing. She's like, yeah, we can do that. And I'm like, I hope I can commission her, but the computer's dead. I might as well sell my VR. I want to do full body streams, but I don't. Computer doesn't want to be alive. So, yeah. Anyways, I got on a tangent. What the hell was I talking about? I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place. Oh God, my screen is not on night shift anymore, and I hate it. Why doesn't Apple just let me have night shift mode where, like, it takes all the blue light away from your iPhone and puts, like, an orange hue over it? It's so much more nice. Oh my gosh, I hate blue light. I hate blue light. The world is too blue. You never realize how nice the world looks when it's in a darker hue of, like, orange tint overlay. It's so nice. It's so nice. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me do that to the phone. Beep, 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 beep. There we go. Oh, it's so much better. It's just so much better. Anyways, what did I say? Aww. Oh, Echo, you turned 19 too? Well, happy birthday to you. And we also have somebody in Japanese I can't see. Okay, she, du, she, you, I don't know how to, I can't read Japanese. I did very well on Duolingo, but I faltered in my Japanese studies, and then I forgot everything immediately. Oh, I gotta get ready? Okay, that's good. Thank you for stopping by. I always appreciate that. Um, the version 2 model goes beyond my VTuber identity, so it makes it perfect. Ooh! We're all going to be so spoiled! I want to learn my rigging so I can make sure every sibling gets a basic rig. Because basic rigs, like, I showed what, like, a basic rig, no, like, physics engine looks like with the cursed bald chan. Nezumi rat! It's basically rat. Because Nezumi is rat in Japanese, and then I called it rat. Basically, that model was like, uh-oh, Dreamy's having a dream. Hold on. Oh. Oh, she's dreaming. I usually wake her up because I can't ever tell if she's having a good dream. Huh? Dreamy. Dream mommy. Dreamy, hold on. Dreamy. What's your want? You doing okay? She's been everybody's therapy dog tonight. Oh my goodness. She'll be fine. She's fine. I'll wake her up if I have to. Gentle pats. Oh, getting ready for Mimi's commission? Yeah, so many people. I'm so glad that she's in high demand because she needs to be. I want her to make an idol card, like, series. Kind of like, what is it, the Weiss? Weiss? Or SS? I don't know. The Weiss cards? Like, Hololive has done, like, a collection series with the company. They do all kinds of, like, animes and stuff. And it's a playable card game, a trading card game. But nobody plays a trading card game. Come on! You saw what happened to Pokemon. We were in it for the cards, not the game. Nobody plays a game anymore. Nobody does that. I actually used to go to Pokemon tournaments for cards, and I never understood how crazy that was. Because it was like an not really an after school thing. It was like we went to a middle of nowhere card comic book shop, and they would have like 6 p.m. like play tournaments, and it would be only about like 12 people, if they even that. And we would play Pokemon together, and that's when I learned we knew nothing about Pokemon. and I'd have to build my deck, and I built my deck, and then I invited a friend. It was my best friend's little brother. We were the Pokemon tournament kids, and we evolved from the comic book store. Man, this is such a weird arc. I can't believe we did this. Like, seriously. This is so weird because it's such a serious, like, cool thing, but, like, ugh. I can't believe that's weird. Anyways, so yeah, I've gone to card openings, and I've gone to card tournaments where it is just a tournament and not just like a release. Sometimes I think there was one where they did like a new box set will come out, and you can buy packs or the whole box or something like that. I don't know how much they do these anymore. Probably there's not much of a profit anymore to do stuff like this. They would like rent out a hotel for the new box sets, and then you'd build a deck off of that, and then they do like a mini tournament. I don't think those were serious tournaments. That was just specifically like box set openings. But then I did go to like official tournaments. God, it's so weird. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like, there's prizes and shit. I don't know how serious those tournaments is, because there would be like the kids division to like it was divided in age groups, basically. The baby kids, and then the serious hardcore adults, and there's a lot of them, and they all know what to do. My mom played in a Pokemon card tournament. Have you ever played in a card tournament and realized you're bad at math because all card games are just a math? I'm cringing so hard. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys even remotely understand what I'm rambling about, but like trading card games, the way they're built, they're always so complicated. And there's always going to be OP cards and an OP deck and an OP setup, and there's no real creative freedom. It's just you want a good deck that has the best play style and luck ability and all that stuff. Oh my god, my mom played. She played in a tournament. I don't think we actually had to pay to be in these tournaments though, so they were probably. Did we? No, we must have. Because then why would they have, like, prizes? So weird. I just remember feeling pain. Because I must have had, like, a mini realization of how weird this was. Because this is, like, early. I must have been, like, 9 or 8. So, like, think 2008 card tournaments. That's when I learned about, like, counterfeit cards and how you can spot a counterfeit card, because that was the whole thing, because it's like a serious tournament, but we're dumbass little baby children, and our division was already, like, not many kids. Ugh, it's so weird. This is not a part of my life I want to relive. It's the most nerdy, and I'm like, did I actually do that? Because that's so much more, like, sociable and, like, possibly toxic, and, like, it's the equivalent of going to art school and thinking you know how to do art, and then you see all the art kids, and you're like, wow, I'm not an artist. That's what it was. It was so painfully different. Oh, boy. First gen, Charizard is the strongest card. Did 200 damage. I don't know how good, because I've actually played it professionally and learned how to play it professionally. That's how I learned that I suck at it. A lot of the legendary cards are actually pretty shit. Like, I remember when it was Heart Gold Soul Silver just came out. And that's when they introduced these half cards. It was Lugia and Ho-Oh, I think? Yes. And Zapdos, Articuno. I don't know. Maybe it might not have been Zapdos and Articuno. I do remember it was definitely Lugia was one of the cards, and so instead of it being like an EX card where you would have the base legendary card and then you would have to put on top of it to make it a stronger card, which would be like the EX or the X or the Mega Evolution card, etc., etc. Which, by the way, super hard to evolve your cards without dying. So if you had like a Bulbasaur, an Ivysaur, and a Venusaur, getting it even to the Ivysaur was painfully hard because if you were up against somebody with a water deck and you were like the fire deck, you are just dead. You're not gonna win. It's so painful. Anyways, back to the Heart Gold Soul Silver cards. They cut like Lugia's art in like the bottom half is like a card and then the top half is a card, and then you'd put them like top and bottom, not overlapping. Like before you would like put the card on top of the card because now this is the card in play. But you had to have the original card. But this made like one card piece, and I don't know if they've ever done that again since Heart Gold Soul Silver. Like I even bought the Pokebinder and everything. It was a whole mess. I still found all of these cards pristine. Pristine cards. Like I remember my mom buying off one of the halves because I wanted to get a full binder and I still didn't. It's so cringe because it's like an expensive like past thing. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not proud. I'm not proud. I was the dumb little baby that tried doing a thing and I didn't understand how fucking complicated it can be. Anyway, to this day I never played a Pokemon card game. Yeah, don't even bother. Don't even bother. It's so hard. Because when you go against a player that actually has an understanding of a trading card game, you will know you are out of your league because they will decimate you. There was this kid younger than me by 2 years, and he's a stereotypical, like, geeky, glasses skinny little kid who's like, I know more than you. He wasn't show-offy, but he very much showed off that his deck was actually put together with intelligence and smarts. He might have had his dad also in the tournament. I don't know, but he kicked everyone's ass and we were completely out of the league, and I was the saltiest child because it's like, why am I so bad at this thing? Nobody's telling me that this is a math equation. Why am I bad at this? And I like math, but like, there's so many rules, so many cards. Like, some cards you can't use, some cards you can use, and some cards, if they're from tournament boxes, they're completely illegal. And then you find out that some of your cards might actually be counterfeit, which now that I think about it, the rarest cards are never the strongest cards. That has lost its momentum for good many years. Like I'd say 7 to 8 years ago, rarest cards are the strongest cards. Bullshit. Nobody in a professional league uses those cards because they're garbage. So like Rainbow Pikachu, which is like $100 card in like certain like release set, it's garbage. It really is. It's garbage. You never use them. Like, professional players know what they're doing, and they'll rarely change out their cards unless they have to, like, use a certain generation or something. I don't know all the rules, but when I did it, it was very much, like, serious and, like, dumb? Because, like, the whole idea was, if this is a counterfeit card, right, like, you can see that it's, I don't know, it doesn't match, right? It's like, I would call it a Mexican flea market Pokemon card, because we went to a Mexican flea market, and they had Pokemon cards, so some of them, very few, but the brother of my best friend had a counterfeit, like, Vaporeon or something, and they pointed that out. And because they knew we were dumb babies, that this was our first tournament, we didn't know what the hell we were doing, they gave him a free pack of a random pack and said, use this as a supplement. and it worked. He got a free pack because they gave us the benefit of the doubt. But then I never got my card back, and I threw it away. I don't care, it's counterfeit. I just like pretty art because it's pretty. Anyway, I'm on a tangent. What am I talking about? But yeah, it was just, God, I don't want to be in that world. I don't want to be in that world. There's so many people that are better at that than I could ever even begin to be. It's like when you try to shake a stick at a boulder. It's like, that boulder's gonna crush you. Don't even try. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! And the deck I used is Money Brain Oonga Boonga Easy. Really? Oh my god, Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Man. Oh, that also sends a lot of memories. I never got to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Correctly. I even had like a Game Boy game of the card game. And I never understood how to play it because I was a dumb baby and it was too much math for my brain. So I never got very far in the game at all. I probably was on the first chapter. I'm like, I don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! At all. I skipped all the tutorials and now I'm like, I'm stuck here. I kept buying card packs and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is on the Game Boy game, not like real life. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! At that point was you would buy them at a garage sale and then you'd resell them on eBay because they just they're worth more that way. That was before Pokemon was like too big. Oh my god. You know what's even more elite? I wonder if they would actually let you. Do you know what a dual deck is? I mean, if you know Yu-Gi-Oh, you know what a dual deck is. But unlike Pokemon, where you'll have just a mat for cards, in the anime of Yu-Gi-Oh, they have like the dual deck, where it's like you can hold your cards on your hand. And now to think about it, that's the craziest thing ever. That's so much more cool. Can you imagine some fucking nerd coming to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament with his dual deck? I envy you, sir. I envy you so much because I could tell you how much that dual deck is worth. 200 to 300 at least. I'm not even joking. I found a dual deck new in a box at a Goodwill. It was legit. Like, we used to do a bunch of reselling back in the day. And I don't know, we must have gone to this really weird, out-of-the-way Goodwill, and they had, like, this dumpster bin or something. Like, they would wheel it out before they sort out all the stuff, and, there were other kids there, and they were like, blah, blah, blah. And I saw the thing, and I'm like, wait a minute. Because I had recognized, I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh! My mom was doing the Pokemon card thing, but she learned because of Pokemon that Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a good selling point. So any Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards I've had, she sold, which I didn't care. I didn't know what Yu-Gi-Oh! Really was. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't care. I care more about Pokemon. And I had a dual deck before, but I've never gotten a dual deck fresh out of a box before. That is unheard of. And the fact that there was one at a Goodwill, my mom literally, I picked it up out of, this is the best story, oh my god, I still to this day, I hound her for this because it was so embarrassing. Like, I never realized how weird we were till I got older, and this was like the moment that I'm like, oh, okay, so this is a thing. So, it was a dual deck, new in a box, but it was like vintage. Like, clearly somebody pissed off their mom because that should not have been in a Goodwill. Like, legit not even in a Goodwill. Why was that there? It was a legit collector's item. Who the fuck donated this? Who pissed off their girlfriend? Who pissed off their mom? Like, there'll be a random anime find once in a while. And it'll be like, who pissed off who? Because I know that the person that owned this would never have just donated this to a Goodwill. They would have secondhand sold this and made some kind of a profit. Because stuff is always worth something in like anime world, especially if it's a new in the box vintage toy item. So anyways, I picked this thing out of the box, out of the bin, and I didn't take it out of the box or anything. It was like one of those, it wasn't plastically sealed. It was one of those cardboard, like, it had a header on top, header on the bottom, and then it's like zip tied into the box. It was one of those things. You know, they trust you to like not hurt the toy and not put it in plastic. So they're just like, yeah, this will break probably. So I pick it out of the Goodwill bin and I'm like, wait a minute, this is a dual deck. This is in a box. This is new. What the fuck? So I turn around. I'm like 8 years old or something. I turn around and my mom's still like at the front of the door and I'm all the way in the back and it's a straight shot. And so we have like a clear hallway of space. And I'm like, hey mom, what's this? Because I knew she would freak out, but I didn't know she would freak out so bad. She literally turned around, was after like looking at these clothes, turned around from the door, like a whole fucking store length, and she goes, oh! She literally screech hollered and like ran up to me. She's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? She wasn't swearing, but she clearly, I knew it was a big deal, but she treated it even bigger, and it was like, oh boy, my mom just made a scene, and I'm just kind of looking around, because with that dual deck alone, no matter what it was going to be on like a Goodwill cash register, like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, there was just pure profit to be in that thing. That's like $200 to $300. Like, that's a free paycheck right there. But it's not about the money. Like, I learned to value, like, vintage toys because you'll never get it back. You'll never get it back. And it'll haunt you for the rest of your life. And then you'll have to pay twice or 3 times or 4 times the price to get the toy back because your parents sold it. Anyway, so yeah, that's my dual deck fucking story. New in the box, at a Goodwill. I don't know how it got there. My mom made a scene, screamed, and then ran up to me and was like, oh my god, good find, good find, good find. And it doesn't really end there, because, you know, I was like, oh boy, I'm embarrassed. This is a lot. I think this was, like, very close to, like, the anime convention we used to go to. So, you know, after that dual deck incident, and she learned about Pokemon, she learned about Yu-Gi-Oh!, and she learned that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is actually a high-paying, kind of, like, vintage thing. We went to the convention, and I'm, like, what, maybe 10 now? Like, barely a year older, so this is, like, only the second time we've been at the convention. My mom's all for this, like, you know, I'm just a dumb little kid that dresses up, and everybody loves it because I'm just a dumb little kid. I'm clearly young, and everybody's older, kind of a thing. And my mom's clearly my mom because she's just, you know, a bundle of joy, but she's, you know, you stick out. You know whose parent you are. Anyways, so I had the misfortune and awkward pleasure of watching my mom and trying to hold back my mom. Any Yu-Gi-Oh! Cosplayers that had a dual deck, which was probably only 1 or 2, she's like, oh, I want to go buy that off of them. Can I go talk to them? She would ask me because she knows this is crossing a line. She wanted to go up to these cosplayers, like, I can't, what was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime where they were on motorcycles? That's the dumbest one, but that's what it was. Some poor guy was cosplaying that, like, big-ass wig and all, like, this is serious cosplayer, like, they know their worth, and that's why it was so embarrassing, because I'm like, if my mom goes in, like, like, this was before Karens existed. She doesn't look like a Karen, but she looks like a parent. And at an anime convention, that's kind of like, you know, we come here to be with our kind. Like, I get why your parent is here. Like, I'm very lucky. My mom is, like, clearly a nice goober. But like, it's the social norm where people are like, if we see somebody with their parents, they're probably uppity parents or something, insert. It's probably better now, but there was definitely a period in the cosplay world and anime convention world where it was like, But I'm pretty sure a lot of people now are like parents. So, the kerfuffle of like, oh, you're too old. Why are you here, person? But yeah, oh God, I have pictures. I have pictures of the exact cosplayer too, because she's like, at the very least, I want a picture of it, and then I might find them later. It's so painful. Like she's very much the type of person that's like, if it's a high token item, like it costs $200 to $300 for a vintage like dual deck. So she's not above asking for like 150. If she can get a $50 even remotely like profit, she'll do it. Which most cosplayers are not like, they imagine you're going to lowball them, but my mom almost pays market price because she knows how to, this is a high demand toy, so you can kind of not scalp the price, but you'd put it on a little higher of a pedestal. But those days are fucking gone, thank God. Oh my God. I mean, I should thank her because if it wasn't for her toy escapades, because we used to do a bunch of like Christmas toys, um, we used to do a bunch of Christmas toys, like for the Christmas season, because, eBay and then the rest of the world. This was before, like, every store didn't have an online store. So there was clearly, like, a market to, like, resell toys because not everywhere could get it. And you'd have to go to the actual physical store to get these toys. Which, by the way, I'd like to apologize to every Australian person ever. You live a horrible, hard life, and my mom very much used the Furbies and the kitty Zooms and then the Pixel Chicks, and I know so many of the Singamajigs. I'm not making these up, by the way. These are actual toy names. What are the Disney spinning princesses? I don't know if it had a more official name, but those things were also really good. God, there's so many toys. The Baby Alive. That was the only toy my mom wouldn't let me have. I'm like, I don't even play with toys, but I wanted a Baby Alive because baby pee poo poo. It's like you trust your kid to have like this toy that can piss and shit wherever, and it's like, this is for children. You're gonna trust your child with this, okay? I'm pretty sure we all know what an easy bake oven can actually do. Real harm and burn children. That's why they don't sell stuff anymore. But yeah, it was thanks to my mom that I kind of got introduced to anime by accident, really way back, by a toy. I didn't even know it was anime. In hindsight, if I ever got like a time travel ability, I would go back to like the Wanderer days. Do-Re-Mi, magical Do-Re-Mi, or Oji Majo Do-Re-Mi. It's a magical girl anime, and I don't know. I've never seen it. Apparently it was on 4Kids. Go figure. Anything that was like a child anime was going to be on 4Kids. I didn't know. I had no idea. I only got introduced to it with a toy. And, like, this is early days of internet. Think, like, 2000... Was it 2006 or 7? Like, I was really fucking baby young. I got the little toy doll, and it came with, like, a promo disc. So you could put it in your computer. Which, by the way, I'm realizing computers don't have, disk drives anymore. How the fuck am I supposed to watch a movie on my computer if it doesn't have a disc thing? They completely removed that feature because they're like, we know you pirating, shut up. Oh my god. Anyways, it came with a promo disc, and I had no information outside of the promo disc. It didn't say go to this website or go to this TV series or go to this or that. We had no information. This is how early in the internet days it was. We would look on like the early like Google search and garbage like on Internet Explorer and type in stuff, but we never had the right keywords. This was how like early this was in like internet anything, and I could not for the life of me find Do Re Mi, because clearly this was the first episode and they're like, watch the next episode, blah blah blah, and it's like, but where we had like, you know, cable TV or whatever. I had the 4Kids channel somewhere, I just never knew it existed. I had no idea. I never knew that part existed. I knew Disney Channel, I knew like Cartoon Network, I knew those, but 4Kids eluded me completely. I had no idea what that was. I missed it. That's why when people talk about Winx, I kind of envy them, because I'm like, my best friend had to introduce me to that when I was like 10, and I was like, what? Because the only anime we would ever see would be on Adult Swim after Cartoon Network would turn into Adult Swim after midnight. Oh! Literally, I think Inuyasha, outside of the magical Do Re Mi toy, was my first, like, installation into what anime was, and it scarred me because it was not the best. It was like, I mean, now that I'm older, I'm like, that episode's not scary. But as like a kid where you're like, I'm staying up watching a thing, I snuck out of bed to watch a thing, and something clearly is like adult about this, but I have no idea why. Oh my god. Inuyasha, man. God, so many memories. So many memories. I forgot I had all these stories. Oh, don't even talk about, oh my god, Beyblade, Bakugan, all those stuff. I literally had a Bakugan and Beyblade Christmas. My Christmas was completely Bakugan and Beyblade. Oh my god, my mom always made sure, like, the Christmas tree was never empty. I was very much a spoiled kid, to the point where, like, my mom said I never even opened half my Christmas presents. And I'm like, I feel like I at least opened them from the, like, gift wrap, right? That's the whole fun about it, is finding out what you got. But yeah, oh my god, so many, so many. Can I tell you the Beyblade story? Oh my god, we have so many, like, eBay stories because of all these toys. So, my mom, because she learned, you know, with, like, all these anime toys, we didn't have, like, we didn't know, we thought they were just cartoons. We just thought they were cartoon toys. But now they clearly have, like, a little bit of worth depending on the select item and what year, but they have, like, vintage worth. If you had them new in a box, ooh la la, mommy, that is high money right there. Like, I'm gonna go back in time, get a bunch of old ass toys, keep them in my closet for years, and then sell them later in life. Because as the years go on and on and on, that's only gonna keep going up in value, especially new in the box. Even if you have a mint beat up one, it's so much better, because there's so many, like, Ojimanjo, like, magical ones that go for like $350, and I go, no, please, God, help me. I want it so bad. Anyways, so we like literally had a whole year where Bakugan and Beyblade was the centerfold, and we would sell that stuff to, like, Australia for, like, I don't know, $20 profit, but it's in Australian dollars, so it was already $20 more expensive than the USD, so my mom would add another $20, and she would always get, because, you know, parents in Australia don't remember that they live in Australia. We sold other places as well, but the main supplier out was Australia. Parents would buy the week before Christmas and expect it to show up. And this was before like fast shipping or Amazon or any of this stuff. So it was like, we are literally your only hope for these toys, because they don't even like have Toys R Us in Australia most places, because it was like its own land of like nothing. They had nothing over there. That's all I knew about Australia, is that we sold things to them and they had nothing. Like, I'm like, do these kids not have toys? Like, what the fuck? So, anyways, we would always get, like, the first, like, end of Christmas, before Christmas. Parents would be like, did this ship yet? Is it gonna show up? Blah, blah, blah. And my mom's like, oh, boy, let's get ready for the negative feedback, because there's no way in hell in 2008 or 2009 or 2010 you're gonna get this in a week for Australia. That's just not gonna happen. But we did make a lot of people's Christmases. We got way more positive feedback than negative feedback. But the Beyblade story is infamous for crazy, like, refund my money because insert bullshit. And this is like before Karens, this is before scammers, so this is all honest, weird crap that we had to deal with. My mom does dishes now. And like the stories range to absurdity of like the ducks are facing the wrong way on the dinner plate. What? Do you not know what a flipped mirror image is? And why would you care that the duck is flipped? It's going in a right circle instead of a left circle. Ah! Like, it wasn't even a complaint that, oh, it's a counterfeit plate. No, it's not. It is not. She just literally was like, I regret buying these, so I'm going to make up a bullshit excuse, and, what can I make? Chip? Nope, there's no chips. Broken? Nope, not broken. What lie can I make up? I don't have one, so I'm just going to say the ducks are facing the wrong way. Give me back money. So we had this Beyblade customer. The duck story, by the way, is real. We had this Beyblade customer, and it was somebody's dad. They had a son, and he had bought like the battle stadium, which comes with like maybe a Beyblade, and then like we sold Beyblade packs. So he got like the full package of stuff. Anyways, early days of the internet, think 2010, like, nobody knows shit. This guy comes back after he gets it safely delivered before Christmas, and, you know, we take a good week off just trying to, like, mentally, like, check out, because we were literally selling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of resell toys to Australia, and just so we could get by on, so we can live. We are not rich. We literally did this so we could pay for vitamins, and then going to like what's the equivalent of Disney World? It's not Disney World. It's like our state's version of a theme park. I never understood it. It wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap. Now I think about it, it's like, why did we even do all that crap? It's like, I got bored. We went there enough times to where I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. So, like, more than 3. Oh, boy. Anyways, so this Beyblade dad, he complains and says, I want a refund, and you scammed me. And we're like, what? My mom had to tell me this story multiple times as I grew up, because she's still like, what the fuck? So this guy says, I need a refund, and I deserve a refund. And we go, was it damaged? What happened? The box damaged? Because, you know, even though it's a Christmas toy, some people would, like, say, oh, the box came damaged, the toys are fine, but the box was damaged, so I should get, you know, a full refund. And that was way before, like, that was a valid complaint. And those were rare and few. So, it makes all the way to, like, Australia. It's intact. And so we're like, okay, what's this guy gonna say? We have like a whole bag of like stuff they're just gonna say to try to get a free refund. And, you know, since they're from Australia, they're not returning it. It's just, give me money and we keep the item. Thanks. So, this guy's excuse for wanting a refund and saying we scammed him was his son's friend showed him the Beyblade and said, this is not the original toy that came from the anime. And you're thinking, when I say that, he must have gotten the wrong, character or variant. No. This man was insistent that his son's friend convinced his son that this was not originally from the anime. Like, he could not pluck it out of the screen. Like, that's not the original. Only the original one is on the screen in the cartoon. Just, what the fuck? What the fuck? What? Deadass serious man was like, give me your refund. My son went from having a good Christmas to now after Christmas he's upset because it's not from the anime. Deadass serious! And I'm like, as absurd as that is, go figure that existed, right? Like, that story even happened. Oh my god. Sir, you do realize it's a cartoon. Does your son realize it's a cartoon? Does your son's friend realize him being a salty ass bitch that he didn't get a fucking Beyblade for Christmas? Him going and telling his friend that, no, you didn't get that. That's not real. And then having the absurd notion to come to us for a refund. Like, that absurdity would not exist in this year without you being, like, considered mentally ill, because of course not, right? But this was so, like, I was in that space, like, oh, this is the toy from it's the real one, wow! Even though you'd see, like, the same toy in the store, multiple copies, like, the Buzz Lightyear, Buzz doesn't know he's a toy, kind of a thing. Like, I thought I was the only one. No, friend, you are everybody's toy. Oh my god. Anyways, so yeah, that's the Beyblade story. It wasn't even the guy was complaining. It was his son's friend. And he's like, I don't have any complaints. It wasn't damaged or anything. And we opened it, and he had it for a week. But his son's friend convinced him that it wasn't from the fucking anime. He didn't use anime. He said cartoon. That's how early days we were. Oh, my God. We have many of those stories. My mom had to call the police on some fucking weird lady that... Because you have to put your address on things, right? Because it's like, we don't have a P.O. box. We can't afford that shit. So we'd have to put our own address and even our phone number. And so my mom would get, like, a raving lunatic, which now I guess we would call them Karens, but we used to call them stalkers. And they would get crazy about something. And when eBay agreed that they're crazy, which now they don't agree with anybody, they're like, just refund them. And we're like, we literally can't afford to do that. They have no reason why we should refund them other than, I got it and I don't want it anymore. Can you have it back? Thanks. It wasn't like anything's wrong with said item. They just don't want it anymore. This isn't Amazon. We live dollar by dollar here, asshole. How fucking dare you? My mom is a manic, and she's a workaholic. She puts her heart and soul, like, nobody packs like we do. We've had so many wonderful feedbacks of people being like, this would not have arrived intact from anyone else. I didn't think you would pull it off, because we used to do snow globes too. Like, the vintage like Disney snow globes, and we banned selling them because even with our advanced like bubble wrap and packing and box in a box in a box like technology that we like, we're fucking origami masters, I swear. No matter how much we prep, those snow globes would always like they had probably a 45% they're gonna break in transit. There was nothing we could do, and if it wasn't completely destroyed, a small part would be broken off. So we barred those completely because it's just like, no, nah. Like sometimes we would make more money getting FedEx to admit they broke the item and refunding us. So we would refund the person, and then they would be the one that now pays us for the broken item because we would have the value of the item on the box. Anyways, I feel like I was talking about a story and then I went on another story. The box and the box and the box stuff. So we were so good at packing stuff. We've had so many random crazy fucking dog shit Karens through the years. Just early internet days where we're like, we work so hard and we don't understand insanity because we are insane. So when we got somebody who's crazier than us, we literally couldn't fathom their life. They're like, really? Are you just that miserable that you just decide this? Yes. The answer was yes. Anyways, my mom, at this point was selling way more dishes than literally anything else. And at this point, she is like the dishes lady. She would sell like vintage dishes or Fallscraft or all these names that I can't remember specifically, but she knows by heart. She is literally a historian of dishes at this point. She was literally known as the dish lady everywhere. Like, garage sale people knew who she was, estate sale people knew who she was, antique shops knew who she was, Goodwill knew who she was. This is what we have to do to get by. Anyways, so we sold this ginormous set. Like, it's very rare now, or even back then, that people would want a full set of dinnerware. So that'd be like at least 6 like place settings, smaller place settings, then cups, then saucers, then bowls, then whatever added, like butter dish, even if it had, if it would have that. So my mom had this ginormous set of like, it was like an 18 place set. So there'd be 18 big plates, 18 small plates, 18 glasses, 18 cups, 18 mugs, 18, like so many. It was this ginormous fucking order, and it was like $500, and then another $150 to ship that in this giant, like you could put like 4 children in this giant cargo box. Oh my god. Anyways, this is like so like 2012, I would say, like still early internet, like stuff like this is probably going to die. Like if somebody is a dick, that these dishes aren't going to make it no matter how much we pack them. So, we bubble wrap, packing tape, all this stuff, just making sure this thing will survive the entire trip. My mom spent so much time and money to get these dishes to, some fucking random place. It was a rich neighborhood somewhere in a completely, like, across the other side of the United States from where we are, and we're like, if this makes it, this will be like a holy grail. Like, it was always expected that we might have to refund the amount for a plate or two, because that's just life. Hi, Dream. No. You stay in your spot. No. You naughty. No. I'm gonna put you back in your spot. She has her own spot on the bed. She's crouching on me. Yeah, I'm streaming, ding ding. Anyways, so, we sent the box, and that's probably going to take 2 weeks to get any feedback from this because it's such a big box. It's so expensive. There is no express shipping. This was only like, this is so heavy. My mom's ship stuff. Like, free shipping doesn't exist in our world. There's literally no free shipping. We can't afford it, for one. Shipping something that weighs like 100 pounds is going to cost a dog amount. Anyways, so, fucking month passes, and I wake up, do my thing, and then I check in on my mom, and she's like working away at her desk, and I always ask her, so do you have any stories today? Me and my little 10 or 12-year-old butt would just be like, let's hear the daily dose of crazy today, because she used to do this full time. Not anymore, it's dead. This lady, like, this was when eBay, like, did a major update. Like, you could send pictures and stuff. Or you would have to, like, personal emails would be delivered, phone numbers. Like, they probably don't do most of this stuff anymore. Anyways, the lady who ordered the dishes set specifically personally emailed outside of eBay, like, personally emailed my mom, which I don't know how that works. Good Lord. Usually when that happens, we're like, oh boy, we have a stalker. Great. And so she was already like, seeing she got an email from them was like, oh no. Because they say, hey, we're so-and-so from so-and-so, we got so-and-so item, and then we're like, all right, what's going to happen now? Anyways, this lady was a rare story where it wasn't bad. It was actually incredibly good, because this lady took a picture, and this was like back in the day where everybody had digital cameras. There are no phones. There are no smartphones. Just barely smartphones, really. She took a picture with a digital camera of the cargo box, which was filled top to bottom. This was like a 4-foot box that was like 1.5 foot or 2 foot, 2.5 foot long. It was a big ass, huge, like, full dishes set in there. It was crazy. She sent a picture of the box, and we're like, that's usually not a good sign, right? They send you a picture of the item itself, and it's just the box. Like, you didn't even get to look at the plates, because, sometimes they'd be like, plate broke, and we're like, okay, take a picture. And then they don't, and then we're like, we can't refund you if you don't prove it. And they go, nah! Refund all my money! And we're like, we can refund you for a plate, but just prove that you broke a plate, or a plate was broken, so we can go through that exchange. Anyways, so this lady takes a picture of the box, and this box, which we basically built it like it was made out of steel, because we knew this was, like, probably not going to make it. And we were just waiting for this to go south, because go figure. She took a picture of the box, and we see it. And the box has 2 fucking ginormous holes straight through one side to the next side. Like, I don't know, a forklift stabbed it? A forklift stabbed the box. It missed all the dishes. It just perfectly stabbed all the way through, and then all the way back, and they forklift it off the plane, and then deliver it to this lady's house with, like, UPS or whatever. And she gets the box, and she's like, there's no way that anything in there is intact. This is fucking absurd. So she was taking pictures because she was going to complain. So she gets the box, she sees it's completely damaged. It literally has 2 holes going straight through it. And this was back in the day where complaints, no, it doesn't matter. No. Like, now, that would be, like, irrefutable proof of, like, full refund. But back in the day, you really had to prove that you were innocent, that you were always innocent, and that you did everything you could. It was crazy. So she's like, she's like, I really wanted this place setting. It reminded me of my grandma. It was a vintage set. I, spent $500 and more plus $120 in shipping, blah, blah, blah. And she's like so defeated. She was an actually kind, rich lady, which is very rare. We had a lot of snobby rich ladies. So she opens the box and she sees all the bubble wrap. Every individual place setting is like individually super mega bubble wrapped, and it's just like so many boxes and boxes, and it's fucking like a clown car of pulling out dishes. And as she's pulling out dishes and you're like looking them over, and she's like, okay, this one's okay, this one's okay, oh, this one's okay. And she's like, she gets them all out of the box and she's like, are any of them broken? So she has to go through like 2 to 3 inches of bubble wrap for each individual thing, because we literally have to like bomb proof these things. We can't just put a stack of plates or like, I don't know, origami basically. So she has to get a box cutter or scissors and like pry all this bubble wrap off of it, and she's setting all the place settings up, counting the dishes, making sure she has everything. And she just can't believe. She's like, me and my husband and my family, we had this for Christmas. This was amazing. I don't know how you did it. And she's like, nothing was broken. Nothing was chipped. All of it was intact. This box was stabbed. Like they didn't give 2 shits. And nothing was wrong. I don't feel like that's not an interesting story, but you guys don't understand how much stress in work, in like emotion went into stuff like that. Like my mom was seriously a high functioning workaholic bipolar with manic tendencies who would occasionally have to get checked into the mental ward because she would overwork so hard and she'd just go right back at it too. It was crazy. Like, the Pixel Chicks was, oh my god, that one was the worst Christmas ever. I'll get to that story if I have time. But, like, having that high amount of praise, and for the lady to reach out personally, was like, we were already internally cringing and being like, oh great, fuck, what happened? And just to get that kind of a feedback was like giant, like this is what we live for. We never ask for good things, we just fucking hope we get a break. And that was like a big break because we really needed that, because I think a lot of the stuff that, like those big place settings my mom would sell, that chunk of like small profit, or well, I guess it's a chunk of profit, so it'd be like $100, $200, or $300 sometimes, that would all go straight into me, whether I had a tutor or I was going to my vitamin lady and then buying vitamins and just all that jazz. And then like brain train, all those tutors. My mom did literally everything to make sure that I didn't have the childhood she did. And like, okay, I have to go back a little bit. Basically, early days of like trying to help a special needs kid on an autism spectrum, that back then autism didn't exist. You were either a broken person or you weren't. You were either fully autistic or you had no autism. There was no spectrum. So like they struggle even with like people who have like what is it, the reading disorder, that they have a hard time reading. Basically, it was incredibly expensive, and you had to do all your own research. You'd have to find whoever does these kinds of tutoring or therapy or like medicine or something, whatever it would be. And my mom tried literally everything to make sure that all of my shortcomings would at least, like, I would have something. Because clearly I was a special kid because I was very, very sensitive. Very, very sensitive. And that's part of SPD, sensory processing disorders on the autism spectrum, which is like the most mild form of autism now these days compared to, everything has names and words now. Before it didn't. It was like you really had to fight to have a good life back then. And my mom fought. She fought like a manic lady with nothing but energy and time. Oh my God. She lived to make sure that I would be living and not having the life she did. Because my grandma, fuck that lady. Fuck her so much. My extended family is the kind of neglectful where they're very much in the time of, oh, if there's something wrong with you, you're stupid. Stupid. There you go. They just call you stupid. They would just call you stupid. Even if you had like a valid like health concern. So my mom like couldn't hear for most of her life and was always sick on the couch, and my grandma would just call her stupid or lazy or fat because she has asthma and she can't hear. It's like no fucking wonder she was delayed, but she still clawed out of that abyss. But she's like, nobody fought for her. They just called her stupid. They just called her stupid, and that's it. They didn't try. They never tried at all. They never tried to look for an answer. They never tried to get her help. I mean, she kept getting tubes in her ears, but still to this day, I'm like, I feel bad. I'm like, we told her to get tubes in her ears because she was really having a hard time hearing, and we're like, come on, it's like 2020. The technology must be better. She had like experimental tubes when she was a kid, like before they even knew how to do like any of that ear surgery stuff, because we all have bad eardrums in my family. I've had tubes, I've had ear reconstruction surgery. My mom is still the only buddy in our family that can't get her ears properly fixed. She's not deaf, but like she didn't get tubes till she was like way older, like an absurd like 12 or 13. Like, how did you not know she couldn't hear for this long? Kind of like you failed at parenting kind of stuff. I don't know, I'm still fucking upset about a lot of that, because like that generation, they won't talk to each other at all. They were very much, if you have like a problem wrong with you, that's your burden to bear. Don't make it other people's problems, and you're just stupid. They literally told my mom that it was her fault that my uncle like got his finger, like, it wasn't completely sawed off, but it did get, they were, this is fucking 19, like, 66, 19, fucking too old. Like, you do not put kids in charge of, like, heavy machinery and expect there to be no problems. They made my mom believe it was her fault that my uncle got injured to the point where he almost lost one of his fingers, when, surprise, surprise, I love hearing stories, and I love asking questions, and I love learning things from the older generations. So I would always ask my grandpa to tell me stories. And just one day at the kitchen table, I've heard the story many times before, he just decides to tell the iteration with the full truth. Yeah, speaking of which, that wasn't your fault that my uncle got his finger cut off, because you were in charge of that part of the machinery to cut the tiles. That was the younger sister, my aunt. But guess what? My aunt probably had SPD. She was incredibly sensitive, and for some reason she got a pass from them. They literally made my mom out to be the scapegoat and the punching bag, so that my younger aunt, her little sister, would get an out. My mom has been haunted her entire life that she hurt her brother and thought it was her fault. No questions. And then for my fucking grandpa to just say straight to her face from his mouth, which was the hardest fucking thing to do because they're proud and stupid and arrogant and awful, this iteration of the story just comes out and say, oh yeah, that was completely not your fault, by the way. We had to blame you because little Miss Sister would have never been able to recover from the shock of having done said horrible thing to her brother. Yeah, but what the fuck about my mom, you asshole? What? You do not get to say, let's blame the other kid because the younger kid is going to feel too awful about it. That's not how that works. Everybody's going to feel awful. Everyone's feeling awful. You just fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You live in a basement, eat ass. My mom did everything. My mom did everything. There's not one instance I can say in my life that my mom has done absolutely nothing in any regard. She has worked the hardest. Like, even people nowadays that have, like, anybody that has a kid that has special needs of any kind, whether they're on an autism spectrum or a learning disability or any kind of, like, special needs, my mom has done so much more for me. I remember so many tutors, so many education places, so many, like, summer schools. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, like, oh, you must have thought something was wrong with you. That's what she thought. She thought that I was feeling bad, that it's like, okay, I'm doing all this for my kid, but does she think that there's something wrong with her? No, I'm an idiot. I never cared because I knew everything my mom did was to help me survive easier. I'm like, yeah, I didn't like the tutoring in certain regards, but it wasn't like torture. It wasn't, it was just something we did. It was so routine, it was just a part of my life. Like, I didn't know what not summer school was like until, I got older, and my mom says, I asked her, why did I get off, like, so many vitamins? That doesn't seem like you. And she's like, well, you got old enough to say no, and I wasn't going to force you. I mean, she quote-unquote tried to force me in, insistence. But she knew I was too sensitive that if she actually tried, like most parents, where they would be, like, yelling and screaming and telling you to do something, that would have permanently scarred me. Permanently. That was a fact. If you would to cross that line, I would remember for the rest of my life. And now that I'm older, as a 22-year-old, I can say, yeah, that's true. I remember things as a 3-year-old that my mom's like, why the fuck do you remember that? Please no. Because she feels like she failed as a parent, and that is absolutely not true. It is absolutely not true in any regard. None. She has, like, my whole extended family combined still hasn't done enough for their own kids that my mom has done for me. She's done everything right. I never once thought I was stupid. I was a little inconvenienced, but I wasn't tortured. I didn't feel like I was weird. I didn't feel like I was special. I just was like, I was going with the flow. I was just surviving. She did every therapy option, everything. She did everything. She found so many random things, like Brain Train before it was Brain Train. That one really specialized out-of-pocket, like, counselor that specialized in autism before autism was really a thing. And it was I loved it there. It was fun. There was no therapy. It was a jungle gym of coolness. I'm like, what? I can play while I talk to you in this giant custom-built industrial warehouse with so many, like, trampolines and jungle gyms, and it's just one-on-one, and I'm like, at this point, this wasn't therapy. This was just me playing. Like, I feel bad. We only had 3 of those because they were so expensive, but she literally got to take me to places and tutors that now it's like such a big thing. Like you can either tell it's a scam or I think most of them, if not all of them, are like big. Like they were ahead of their time and now they're of their time and they make a lot of money. And now it's like, probably more of a gimmick. I don't know. Back then everything was way better. Like everything was more expensive and nothing wasn't covered by insurance, thus she had to do all the eBay stuff to like pay out of pocket to help me. But she did everything right. You can't get much better than what my mom did. She was a high-functioning bipolar romantic workaholic. She was made for me. She says that. She's like, I'm not a religious person, but she's like, God made me your mom, and you were made for me and knew what I could handle. Because she knows everything. Like, it was a very hard time. She had to change everything about herself when I got in the picture. Yeah. Anyways, this is all a weird tangent. I'm getting tired. My stomach's rumbling. But yeah, there's some eBay stories. I don't even remember how I started this stream. Is this stream still on? I haven't looked at the comment for a while. What are we talking about? You're talking about Gotcha Life. No! Did you know Gotcha Life gave my computer a virus? I think it's gone now, but I'm always paranoid. Hey. Anyways, I'm getting tired. But yeah, anyways, moral of the story. Work hard, do good. My mom's the best. Fuck you. And Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh boy. Yeah. And now I have a dog for some reason. I used to be afraid of dogs. How did I get a dog? Why did I want a cat? I don't know. It was weird. I'm weird. This is the most boring time of my life compared to my childhood. So strange. But yeah, that's all the stories I have really the energy to talk about. I want to take my night meds. Maybe go to the bathroom. Dreamy wants some attention over here. Yeah, nice to see you. It's a sleepy baby. You are off your spot, Missy. But yeah, anyway, this will be interesting to listen back to because I have no idea what Streamlabs on mobile is like. Plus my phone is dying, so that's a thing. But yeah, thanks for listening to me, Echo, and how do I even say your new name? I'm just gonna keep calling you Vegeta forever. Crow Vegeta mix. Once I get better at reading, I'll be able to say your new name. But yeah. Thank you for spending time with me. I am going to exit out. I have no stories, no further feedback. I'm hungry. You guys have a good day or a good night. Be good people. Stretch. Oh, man, how did I stay here for this long? Alright, bye, adios. Bye. How do I click the button to get out of here? Do I have to go like this?